My story begins when we moved into the old terraced house on Willow Lane. It was a steal, really. 3 bedrooms, a little garden out back, and all for a price that made me and Sarah nudge each other like we'd pulled off some grand heist. The kids, Ellie and Tom, were buzzing too. New rooms to mess up, a street to explore. It was a fresh start after a rough year, and I reckon we all needed it. The place had character, creaky floors, wonky walls, a fireplace that looked like it had seen a century of winters. I liked that. Felt proper British, you know? First few weeks were grand. I'd come home from the garage, knackered, and Sarah'd have tea on, sausages, mash, the works. Ellie'd be nattering about school, Tom glued to his Nintendo, and we'd all pile on the sofa for telly. Normal life. But then, one night, I'm locking up, and I hear this faint tapping, like fingernails on glass. I check the windows. Nothing. Wind, I tell myself. Old houses creak and groan, don't they? Still, I double-check the back door, just to be sure. Next morning, Sarah's in the kitchen, frowning. "Did you hear something last night?" she asks, pouring tea. "Like a tapping?" I nod, sipping my mug. "Yeah, thought it was the wind." She shakes her head. Woke me up. Kept going, on and off. Bloody annoying. We laugh it off. New house, new noises. But Ellie pipes up from the table, her cereal spoon hovering. "I heard it too, Dad. Sounded like it was in my room." Her voice wobbles a bit, and I ruffle her hair. "Probably a branch, love. This place is ancient." A few nights later, it's not just tapping. I'm knackered, sprawled in bed, when there's this low hum, like someone's muttering under their breath. I sit up, heart thumping, and nudge Sarah. "You hear that?" She groans, half asleep. "What now, Mike?" The humming stops, then starts again, louder from downstairs. I grab the cricket bat from under the bed. Daft, I know, but it's what I've got, and creep down. The sitting room's dark, just shadows from the street lamp outside. The noise is coming from the fireplace. Clear as day, a voice muttering, "Get out! Get out! Get out!" My hands shake, the bat wobbling, and I flick the light on. Nothing. Silence. I stand there, breathing hard, feeling like a right prat. "Mike! What the hell?" Sarah's at the top of the stairs, arms crossed. I tell her what I heard, and she rolls her eyes. "You've been watching too many ghost shows." But her face changes when I point out the ash spilled on the hearth. We hadn't lit a fire since moving in. "Kids messing about?" she suggests, but her voice is tight. I don't say it, but I'm thinking of old tales, poltergeists, restless spirits. My nan used to bang on about them, saying they'd haunt a place if you disturbed their rest. Rubbish, I'd always thought. Now, I'm not so sure. It gets worse. One evening, Tom screams from his room, proper blood-curdling, like he's seen a monster. We leg it upstairs, and he's huddled on his bed, pale as a sheet. "The man in the wardrobe," he sobs, pointing. "He was staring at me." Sarah hugs him, shushing, while I yank the wardrobe open. Just his clothes, a few toys. "No one's here, mate," I say, but my voice cracks. Ellie's in the doorway, whispering. "I saw him too, Dad. Last night. Tall, with no face." My stomach drops. "What do you mean, no face?" She shrugs, eyes wide. "Just blank. Like a mask." Sarah's had enough. "This house is freaking me out," she snaps over breakfast next day. Tapping, voices, now the kids seeing things. We're not staying. I want to argue. Money's tight. Where'd we go? But I can't shake the dread gnawing at me. "Let's give it a week," I say. "See if it settles." She glares. "A week, Mike. Then we're gone." That night, it escalates. I'm brushing my teeth when the mirror fogs up, like someone's breathing on it. I wipe it, and there's writing scratched into the glass, "Mine." My heart's hammering, and I stumble back, yelling for Sarah. She runs in, sees it, and her hands fly to her mouth. "Oh God, Mike, what's happening?" Before I can answer, the lights flicker, and a stench hits us. Rotting meat, thick and vile. Downstairs, the kids start screaming. We race down, and the sitting room's a nightmare. The furniture's shifted, sofa shoved against the wall, chairs tipped over. Ellie's crying, Tom's clutching her, and above the fireplace, a shadow looms. Tall, faceless, like Ellie said, just hovering there. My voice trembles as I shout, "Get away from my kids!" It doesn't move, but the air goes ice cold, and that muttering starts again. Mine, mine, mine. Sarah grabs the kids, sobbing, "We're leaving now!" I don't argue this time. We're at the door when the floorboards groan, and something slams upstairs, like a wardrobe falling. The shadow's gone, but the muttering follows us outside, echoing in the foggy street. We pile into the car, kids in the back, Sarah shaking beside me. "Drive, Mike, just drive." I do, tires screeching, and don't stop till we're miles away, crashing at her sister's in Harrow. Next day, I call the estate agent, voice still wobbly. "That house, something's wrong with it." He's all calm, like I'm mad. "Old places have quirks, Mr. Harris." "Quirks?" I nearly laugh. Then he lets slip the last tenant left after a month, muttering about bad vibes. Why didn't they tell us? I slam the phone down, furious, but relieved we're out. Weeks later, I dig into Willow Lane's history. Turns out, a bloke hanged himself there in the 1800s, right in our sitting room. A loner, no family, obsessed with the place. Folklore says spirits like that cling on, marking their territory. "Mine," he'd said. Bloody hell. He meant it. We're in a flat now. Cramped, but safe. The kids still have nightmares. Tom won't sleep without a light. Ellie jumps at shadows. Sarah and me, we're tighter than ever. But jumpy. Last night, I swore I smelled that rot again, just for a second. I tell myself it's nothing, old fears playing tricks. But I keep the cricket bat by the bed, just in case.